After the Soviet Union collapsed in the early 1990s, Cuba went into profound economic crisis, undertook a number of emergency measures, which included allowing some entrepreneurship, allowing some foreign direct investment, and allowing the US dollar to circulate in Cuba alongside Cuban currency. And that was a way to bring tourism revenues in, remittances as well. And this created basically a bifurcated economy in Cuba, where you had a US dollar economy, which was very expensive by Cuban standards, but would have goods of relatively high quality, and a Cuban peso economy, which there was very little of quality, but most people were expected to live on it. And so the average wage in Cuba today, for example, if we fast forward a little bit, is around $17 a month is the average wage in Cuba. And yet you have goods that are sold in dollar stores, although the dollar was actually eliminated in a couple of years ago, but it's now a third currency, a convertible peso, which trades at the same basis with the dollar. And so people, if you want to buy a pair of jeans, it still costs 35 bucks, even though you're only making $17 a month. And so that's why people need to rely on tourism revenues, remittances, and there's a need to kind of invent, to survive in Cuba. I know a colleague in Cuba who is the bureau chief of the Associated Press in Havana, who had lived in Cuba for several years. And she was always said, well, how do people survive on this ration system with these very low currencies? And so she decided she'd try it for a month, where she lived on $17 and Cuban rations. And she reported that she found herself obsessing about food, and she lost 9 pounds. And this was not a large woman to begin with. And I think it gives you some idea of the type of scarcity that faces the average person in Cuba.